All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular board meeting for the Todd County Board of Commissioners. Today's date is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Time is 9 a.m. All commissioners are present along with the auditor treasurer, county coordinator, and county attorney. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you have the correct agenda in front of you.
Do I have the
January
correct?
3rd, 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was looking at the old one.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Misstated. 2023, January 3rd, 2023.
Thank you.
All right, we will go on to the oath of office. Thank you. Congratulations to all the new elected officials or renewed elected officials.
Mr. Chair, if we
Commissioners.
could have the new commissioners take their
Oh,
spot at the
yep.
bench.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the amendments to the agenda.
I
Any-
have none, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Anything, commissioners? If not, looking for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Newman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Becker. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Board organization. Establish board chairperson. Is that run by us?
That's run, but yes. It's
I-
customary that the Todd County Board of Commissioners to serve as the chairperson for the board in rotation or otherwise addressed as the board's wishes. And then I'll fill in the recommendation once you have talked it through.
Doesn't have to come as a motion, or does come as a
It
motion,
will
or?
come, I will read the recommendation when you, yeah, it'll be a motion.
Okay.
It's an action motion item.
Well, I think we should continue rotation as is. I think it's good. If I was gonna suggest anything or anything different, I would suggest that maybe Commissioner Becker would move up one spot so that we would have one veteran and one newer elected official in the spots of chair and vice chair.
Well,
Move forward.
it has been tradition, though, that we try to keep two experienced commissioners and give the two, or the unexperienced ones, a year to adjust to our,
What are you saying?
yeah.
Yeah. And I
That's what you're
know-
saying, right?
I was saying just to move up one. I thought as long as we had one experienced one as chair and then the other one as vice, I thought we would be fine, but I was just suggesting that Commissioner Becker maybe move up one so that it would alternate through where you wouldn't have two of the newer ones at the same time.
I'll just put in 2 cents too. When I came in and sat where Commissioner Denning is sitting. You need at least a year under your belt to understand and to know department heads and so forth moving forward, so. I'll leave mine at that. Do you need a motion?
We need a
for-
motion for chairperson, yes.
Make a motion that Commissioner Newman sits in as chair for this year.
It's a motion by Commissioner Becker for Commissioner Newman to be the chairperson for 2023. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Noska. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I think that's the passing of the gavel right there, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Commissioner Erickson. I just want to thank Commissioner Erickson for his leadership in 2022. He did a fantastic job, and thank you for that. With that, established a board vice chair. Do we have a motion?
I would make the motion. I would like to just see the alternating thing that I suggested, whether it flies or not, but I would make a motion that Commissioner Denny serve as vice chair.
Okay, we have a motion by Erickson. Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
May I ask Tim the question if he feels comfortable with this at this point, Mr. Chair?
Pardon me?
Can I ask him the question if he
Sure
feels
you
comfortable
can,
with it at this
absolutely you
point?
can.
I do like that, what Barb said, that, just going off her experience, that she likes to see a year under the belt first, and I understand what you're saying with the alternating, but I do like
And-
that.
And after, next year, if Tim would step in over me, I would be fine with that also, but I think you really need some experience.
Okay, one last time. Do we have a second? If not, motion fails. I would ask for another motion, please.
I can make a motion. I'll make a motion that Commissioner Becker be vice chair.
Okay. Motion by Nazca. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Denny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, potential consent items.
Today we have minute meeting approval for December 27th, 2022. We have John Fick, resignation, part-time road deputy, 12/31/2022. A resignation of eligibility worker Tracy Dulinger, 12/27/22, and appoint social worker Cameron Shaber, start date to be determined.
Okay, I've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Erickson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Danny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried, thank you. Auditor Treasurer.
First item I have today is the auditor warrants for December 2022. Background is sent for your review. Recommendation is to approve the December 2022 auditor warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $1,311,705.62.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Erickson. Discussion. If none, roll call vote.
Sorry. Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson,
Yes.
Commissioner Denny,
Yes.
Commissioner Nasca.
Yes.
Thank you. And our next item is the official publication.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The chair now. Commissioner Newman.
What the hell? Okay. Morning, Jason.
Good morning.
So the background is Minnesota statute, chapter 375.12, requires that annual letting of bids for publication be held for the publication of the official proceedings of the official Todd County Board meeting and notices. And I have one bid here that I'll open for the official newspaper. And it is from the Long Prairie Leader. And it states, "The Long Prairie Leader, on behalf of the Leader and the Independent News Herald and Staples World, respectfully submit a bid of $14 for the designation of official newspapers for Todd County. The Long Prairie Leader will act as the lead newspaper under a joint publishers agreement signed by the Long Prairie Leader, the Independent News Herald of Clarissa, and the Staples World of Staples. Additionally, the Long Prairie Leader will then publish official notices and proceedings of Todd County in the Osakas Anchor newspaper at no additional cost to Todd County for the year 2023. Signed, Jason Brown, publisher, Long Prairie Leader, Osakas Anchor."
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Nazca.
Oscar, Erickson,
Second.
discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may. The Osakis Anchor, the reason we're still doing it at no charge is because the Osakis Anchor is not an official, not a legal newspaper as yet. State statute requires it be published for a period of 1 year.
Okay.
And after the anniversary of that publication sequence, we can then apply for that status. So this month,
Yep.
in a couple weeks, I'll be able to apply.
Okay.
So when the bid was made, and still at this present time, it is not a legal newspaper. So that's why we are continuing to do that. However, the increase that we do have in the bid does help cover the publication costs for that.
Okay.
So, and we are happy to welcome back the Staples World into this agreement. I did pass out the publisher's agreement that has the signatories for all three, and you'll see in there Mike Kramer from the Staples World is representing them. He is the one of the majority shareholders for the ownership group for Staples, and he's been very good to work with over the last over the last year in getting things ironed out and worked out and getting them back into the fold. So
Good to hear that. Okay.
The next item we have is the 2023 extra publication newspaper designation. Background, Minnesota State Statute 375.12 requires that annual letting of bids be held for publication of the extra press proceedings of Todd County Board meetings and notices. And I do have one bid here as well. I'll open that and read it. This was submitted by the Long Prairie Leader. The Long Prairie Leader LLC respectfully submits a bid rate of $11.25 per column inch for the designation of extra printing of the financial statement for the year 2022 to be printed in 2023. The bid is made jointly on behalf of the Long Prairie Leader or Long Prairie Independent News Herald of Clarissa and Staples World of Staples.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Becker. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Denny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Jason.
All right, the next item we have then is the 2023 Todd County Board of Commissioners Board Protocol. Background is Todd County Board of Commissioners wish to create a transparent process for the order of the county board meetings and notices. The Todd County Board of Commissioners met in a work session on December 20th, 2022 to consider or propose any updates to the Todd County Board Protocol documents for 2023. It is the recommendation to adopt the attached resolution to establish the 2023 Todd County Board of Commissioners Board Protocol. Unless the board wishes to have any changes.
Okay. You've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Erickson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Becker. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
We're on to the 2023 board meeting date schedule. The background is customary for the Todd County Board of Commissioners to set the county board meeting schedule at the first board meeting of each year and adjust accordingly for known scheduling conflicts. It's the recommendation to approve to continue to hold the Todd County Board of Commissioners meetings on the first and third Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. in the Todd County Historic Courthouse and work sessions designated by the board chair or 3 members of the county board as deemed necessary. The county board also approves that the July 4th, 2023 meeting be moved to July 5th in 2023, as the 4th, of course, is a holiday. and that the December 5th of 2023 meeting be moved to December, whatever date you choose. That happens to be our AMC conference week, and so we'll need to look at picking a date. And that the year-end board meeting to be scheduled for December 26th. So before moving forward with this, we would have to look at your calendars and pick that December date. Or if there's any other dates you need to move, we need to move those now.
What day of the week does the 26th fall on?
The 26th.
December 26th?
It's always the last Tuesday of December.
Oh, that would be the,
We have
okay.
to do it the last Tuesday of December because that we pay the final bills.
Okay.
All right, you've heard the request. Is there?
Gotta get a
well,
date.
We
Look at
gotta
the
make a,
December,
The first,
December 5th meeting needs to be moved because you'll be at AMC.
we moved
Tuesday.
that to what, Thursday?
Thursday or
Friday you
Friday?
did this year, but you could,
Friday?
you could do Thursday or Friday. You could do the 7th or the 8th.
All the way.
Because AMC is usually Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's the sixth, so
What worked better for your office?
7th or 8th.
7th or 8th is fine, either one.
Commissioners? Thoughts?
I think the 7th is fine,
I agree.
Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
All right. December 7th, 9 a.m.
And so with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting dates as presented with the new meeting date for December 7th.
Okay, thank you. Motion by Erickson. Second, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Denny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
The next item I have then is the 2023 committee assignments. It's customary, the background is customary that the Board of Commissioners establish and reaffirm committees to which they are a member of each calendar year. And I have passed out those large committee lists. If you want to take a look and we can go through them. I wonder if I have them up here.
So to our newly elected commissioners, if you guys have any questions, please ask.
So I'll just go through them. I don't know that I'll be able to follow along because it's so large on we have established the board chair already, and that is Commissioner Newman. Vice Chair, Commissioner Becker. And then, moving on, we did the board meetings, work sessions, so we're getting on to the assignments. So the first ones are all commissioners, so that you know that you sit on all of these. It would be the 3-county Morrison, Todd, Wadena Board of Health. The AMC delegates, you're all assigned to go to that conference and be delegates representing Todd County. You're on the County Road Inspection Committee. You all sit on that. You meet once in the spring and once in the fall. The Finance Committee typically is the chair and the vice chair, rotates as needed. So are we okay for me to fill those in with the chair and the vice chair? And then we have Government Building Task Force Committee, you all sit on that. Minnesota Rural Counties Caucus, that currently is the first Monday of the month at 10 a.m. And we just filled these in as the commissioners that sat in those, but if you wish to change those, let us know. It previously was Gary Kneisel and Dave Kircher, so we just filled in the Denny Nasca, but you guys let me know if you're changing that. The Negotiating Committee, again, that one is just chair and vice chair. And the Solid Waste Joint Inspection is all of you. So that is the category there of all commissioners' assignments. Please let me know on that Minnesota Rural Caucus if you wish to stay on those,
That one there,
the new commissioners.
if I had another option on Mondays would be great. It's Mondays at 10 a.m. are rough days for me.
Okay, is there a different commissioner that wants to sit on
If
this?
anyone else could sit on that, I'd be willing to swap or take something else from. But if not, I guess that's the way it'll be.
See, who did you put as, because one's an alternate and one's the main one.
The alternate is Denny.
Yeah.
So Lunaska is
So-
the main one.
So why don't they just
Just
flip? Why don't you put
switch the alternate?
Denny as the main
Sure,
and Lewis, or
I can do that.
That's all right
Lunaska.
with
That'll work.
Tim, you
Okay.
do that? Thank you.
We'll switch that line then, and we'll put Lunaska as the alternate.
Mr. Chair, if I could just add, with that specific one, that one, they typically, as of right now, they have the Zoom option along with in-person. So just so you're both aware of that.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so if we go to the next category, thank you for that one. We're on strategic and efficient government committees. This meets the second Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. The leadership committee is the chair and the vice, so that can stay as is. Same as the personnel committee, that sits with the county attorney and the coordinator, and the chair and the vice, meeting the second Monday and the fourth Tuesday. Policy committee meets the first Wednesday of the month, and our currently sitting members are Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Erickson, and Commissioner Newman as an alternate. The next one we have is the insurance committee. That's just met as needed, and that's Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Newman. The next committee we have is the Joint Ditch 5 and 8 Committee, and that is meeting as needed, and that would be Commissioner Becker, Commissioner Denny, and Commissioner Erickson. Not sure who's an alternate on that, or if you all three go to that, we would have to post that.
I think all three of us go to that.
I think that's because it falls in all three districts.
Yes, that's correct, and it's usually posted.
Okay, and we post it. Perfect. Safety, OSHA Committee, and Facilities, that standing right now meets every fourth Friday of the month, and that is Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Erickson. Wellness Committee meets as needed, and that's Commissioner Becker. Counties Providing Technology, this meets the fourth Monday of the month at 10 a.m., and that is Commissioner Newman with an alternate as Commissioner Denny. Compliance Fund Committee, they meet as needed via email, and that is Commissioner Noska. Moving on to the next category of, I should be moving this along, community growth committees, and the first one is the County Parks and Trail Committee. They meet the second Wednesday of the month, and those commissioners sitting are Commissioner Erickson and Commissioner Newman, with Commissioner Becker as the alternate. Airport Commission for Long Prairie meets the third Wednesday of the month, and that's Commissioner Erickson and Commissioner Newman. The Airport Commission for Staples, I don't have a meeting date for that, so, or time, so if you could get that.
You know, Denise, of the 8 years I've been here, we've never had a meeting, so.
Okay. We'll just put as needed then.
As needed, okay?
And
That
as standing commissioners sitting there would be Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Denny. Region 5 Development Committee meets the fourth Thursday of the month, and that's Commissioner Becker, alternate Commissioner Denny. Todd County Development Corp liaison meets the first Monday of the month in Burrillville, and that's Commissioner Noska and Commissioner Denny. JD2 Committee, and they just meet as needed. That's Commissioner Newman and Commissioner Denny. Livestock Advisory Committee. I don't have a meeting date for that as well, so if we could get that information, it would be great, or if it's as needed. And this is Commissioner Erickson and Commissioner Becker. Todd County HRA, we don't have a meeting time. I think that's just as they meet as well. That would be Commissioner Denny and Commissioner Noska, with Erickson as an alternate. The Transit Advisory Committee, Rainbow Rider, Joint Powers Ambassador, that would be meeting on the second Thursday of the month at 5 o'clock, and that's Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Newman, with Erickson as the alternate. Transit Advisory Committee for Friendly Rider Joint Powers, they meet the second Wednesday of the month. That's Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Denny. Regional Transportation Coordinator Council, RTCC, that is Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Newman as the alternate. The second page of this draft is the environmental resources. And we will start with the Planning Commission and Variance Liaison, and they meet the first Thursday at 6 PM, and that's Commissioner Erickson with alternate Denny. Soil and Water Liaison typically is the chair and the vice chair. They meet the second Thursday of the month. Solid Waste Joint Powers Board meets the fourth Wednesday of the month at 10 AM, and that is Commissioner Denny with Newman as the alternate. Recycling Committee, Solid Waste Committee, second Thursday of the month, 10 AM. That's Commissioner Denny and Commissioner Newman. Sauk River Watershed District, One Water, One Plan Committee, that's met quarterly or as needed, and that is Commissioner Newman with Commissioner Erickson as an alternate. Long Prairie Watershed Plan is met quarterly or as needed, and that is Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Erickson. Mississippi Brainerd Watershed Plan meets quarterly, and that is Commissioner Erickson, Commissioner Nasca, Commissioner Newman, with Commissioner Becker as an alternate.
That's one I would like to discuss a little bit, Denise.
Okay.
Commissioner Kircher was actually supposed to be the head of it, and then he asked me to take it over, which I did. So much of the discussion is about the land in that area, and where I'm seated, I don't know too much about the land down there. So I'm wondering if someone, a different commissioner, would like to pick that up. And we've been meeting on and off, is usually in Brainerd. So I don't know if someone else is interested in doing the Mississippi one. I know you can't, because Morrison County is also
Morrison
involved
County
in
is
it.
involved in it. I
Yeah,
was just asking
so
when
it's
the
a
meetings
conflict
are,
of
but-
interest, yeah. Yeah, they're usually like a Thursday afternoon. If not, I can continue to go, but
The only other option then would be Commissioner Denny, because you already have Erickson, Newman sitting with Commissioner Nasca.
yeah, I don't know why there's so many, because it was
Yeah.
Commissioner Kircher and myself.
Okay.
He was on the main one and I was the alternate.
And I was never on Mississippi.
Okay, so maybe this is a typo by my staff.
It is, because it was
Okay.
just the two of
It's
us.
just two of you? Okay, that must
Yep.
have just been a typo. Sorry about that. So, back to Mississippi, it just consists of
Yeah,
Commissioner Nasca and Commissioner Becker.
yeah, and I'm wondering if you should put Commissioner Denning in for,
Nasca,
yes.
okay, is,
Yeah.
you're fine with it? Okay.
Yep.
So we're taking Commissioner Nasca off this one,
I
and we're
think we
adding
have to,
Denny, okay.
yeah. Do
Thank
you
you
want
for-
to be the main one, or do you want to be the alternate?
I'll be the alternate for now.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll invite you to come along.
Perfect.
Some of it is.
What's that?
so, now I'm confused, are you staying on this then?
Yes, I guess I
Okay.
am.
All right, very good. So let's repeat that. This one will be, the main representative will be Commissioner Becker, Denny, an alternate.
Yes,
Thank you. Moving on to Water Plan Committee, Todd County Sauk River Watershed. They meet the third Tuesday of the month, and we have Commissioners Erickson and Newman on there. Are we still good with that? Okay. County's Noxious Weed Appeal Committee is Commissioner Denny. Moving on to the next category of Community Engagement Committees. I gotta make it smaller or something here. Yep. All right. So on this category then, we have AIS as Commissioner Nasca and Commissioner Newman. Fair Board would be a little bit. Fair Board Committee is Commissioner, meets the third Thursday, and it's Commissioner Denny and Commissioner Nasca. Great River Regional Library, third Tuesday of the month at 5 PM. We have Commissioner Denny with Becker as the alternate. The Extension Committee, I don't know when those meet, I should have put those on there, but I will add those for next year. We have Commissioner Erickson, and then we have alternate Becker splitting with Newman. as alternates, those two.
Are
Kind of
those-
tag team that one
You
when
and I
they
both
can.
attend them.
You
don't
don't
we
attend them at the
normally?
same time, no.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes if I can't make it, then Randy will step in.
Right.
And I know like when for the farm family, whatever you wanted to step in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Moving along, the Todd County Expo Building Review Committee, we have Becker and Erickson. Todd County Facilities Committee meets the fourth Friday of the month, that's Becker and Erickson. Moving on to Growth and Contribution, the Central Minnesota Counseling on Aging, that is Commissioner Newman with an alternate NASCA, that is the first Thursday quarterly. TRICAP Committee is Commissioner Erickson and Commissioner Nasca. That's the third Thursday of the month at 5:30. Community Safety and Committees, Hands of Hope, Todd Morrison is Denny, and they meet the third Wednesday at 5 p.m. Next one would be the Todd County Community Corrections Executive Committee, and that meets the second Monday at 5 p.m., and that's Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Nasca. West Central Juvenile Detention Center, that's Commissioner Nasca with Becker as an alternate, and I do not
Denise,
have a meeting.
that's one, if I could, I would like to go in as the main one and have Lou be the alternate. When I came on, Dave asked if I would switch with him, which I agreed to,
Okay,
if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's all right, yeah. Thank you.
okay. The next category then is the Community Health Services for County Public Health Advisory. That is Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Newman. Community Health Service Region 3 County Community Health Executive Board is Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Nasca, and they meet quarterly, second Wednesday at 3 p.m. Opioid Settlement Advisory Committee, we added this one just for a little history because it's a 26-year, what we think we've heard. Is that correct?
It's an 18-year.
Oh, 18. I don't know where I got 26 from. 18-year commitment that we'll be going through this. So we wanted to establish a committee going on from them 18 years. So we have Erickson with an alternate Newman. EMS County 14 Board, that meets the fifth Friday of the month. And we have Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Erickson. EMS Task Committee, that's Becker and Erickson. E911 Committee is Erickson and Newman, and they meet as needed. Law Enforcement Liaison is Commissioner Denny and Commissioner Newman. Law Library Committee, NASCA, and I don't know when those meet, but you'll find out. Environmental Health Board of Appeals, NASCA and Newman. And Central Minnesota Emergency Service Council, we have Commissioner Becker. Region 5 Adult Mental Health Comprehensive Reentry Team, that is Commissioner Erickson and Commissioner Nasca. And Todd Wadena Community Corrections Advisory Board, we have Commissioner Becker, Commissioner Newman, and they meet 3 times a year, spring, summer, and fall. Central Minnesota Emergency Service Board, we have Denny and Newman as an alternate. Moving on to the last page. These would be miscellaneous and temporary committee assignments. And we have these already, the Todd County Official Newspaper, that's been determined. The Todd County Official Extra Publication was determined today, so we'll fill those in. Todd County Affirm Action Plan Officer currently is Jane Gustafson, Assistant County Attorney. John, is that staying?
I did email Jane to confirm that. I'll let you know.
Okay. And then Todd County Citizens Against Drugs, we have Newman and Erickson as an alternate. And Citizens Against Drugs in the Staples area is Commissioner Becker. And the County Coordinator Committee assignments, all Todd County Commissioner meetings and work sessions she's assigned to. The Compliance Committee, the E911 Committee, Facilities Committee, Finance Committee, Insurance Committee, Leadership Committee Team, Negotiating Committee, Personnel Committee, Policy Committee, Safety Committee, Solid Waste Committee, and Wellness Committee. And to add to this, we had a little discussion, we will be adding the AMC Committee individual list. When you go to that AMC conference in December, you will attend certain categories that you're assigned to, and you need to be designated so that you can be a voting member. When you're at that meeting, they'll actually give you a placard that you raise to vote on certain topics that they discuss that they're gonna take to legislation. So currently for Public Safety Committee, under our AMC committee, which isn't on here, but I'm just gonna read them out loud. Dave Kircher previously sat on that. So Commissioner Noska would be the individual.
This
for it.
one I would like to go on because that's got a lot to do with corrections, so
Okay.
forth. And then I would give mine up on the transportation,
Okay.
if that's all right.
That's fine, yeah.
The next category we have at AMC is general government. It's the tax category, and Randy currently sits on that. Will you stay on that, Randy?
I'll
Okay.
stay on it.
Environmental Natural Resources, previously was Commissioner Kneisel, and so we would assign that to Commissioner Denny, if that's fine. And Public Health Board, we have Commissioner Erickson. Rod, you staying on that?
Yep.
That's, Health and Human Service. And then Transportation, as stated, and Infrastructure will be Commissioner Noska. And that wraps that up. We'll fill in those categories that we were missing and the changes that we stated here today. If we could go back to the board action and have a motion.
All right, you heard the request. Is there a motion, please, for our committee assignments?
So moved as presented.
Motion by Erickson. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Danny. Discussion. Just let you guys know that we're anywhere from Perham to St. Cloud to Sartell to Morris to Little Falls to Brainerd. So I'll give you guys an idea. We're traveling out and about, so. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
The last item I have, I believe, today would be the designation of depository investments and electronic fund transfers. Background is the Minnesota, I gotta increase this, per Minnesota statute and auditing standards, the designation of depository investments and electronic funds transfers shall be approved by the governing body annually. The recommendation is to approve the attached resolution for the designee of depository investments and electronic funds. And if I go to the board action, you can see where we have our investments or our money placed in American Heritage National Bank, Cetera Investment Management through American Heritage National Bank, Minnesota National Bank, and U.S. Bank, and the Magic Fund. So that's all I need is a motion on that.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Becker. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Noska. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All righty. Todd, Wadena Community Corrections.
Mr. Chair, Kathy Langer couldn't be here this morning, so she's asked that I present this on her behalf. So we have a board action and a resolution this morning to appoint membership to Todd Wadena Community Corrections Executive Committee and Advisory Board. And the background is, in accordance with Minnesota Statutes, Chapter 401, in 1976, Todd and Wadena counties entered into a joint powers agreement and established Todd Wadena Community Corrections. As part of the joint powers agreement, membership of the Todd Wadena Community Corrections Executive Committee and Advisory Board needs to be appointed by the boards of commissioners in Todd and Wadena counties. And the options are to adopt the resolution or not adopt the resolution. And you can see as we look at the resolution, if Denise would scroll through that, we do currently have Commissioner Becker that serves on the Executive Committee and the Advisory Board as well. Barb? Do you-
Yes.
Okay, so we're looking for the vacant spot that Commissioner Kircher filled
Yes.
for those two boards.
And we should have named someone on here, correct?
It should, yeah, I think it was on here, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe. Lou, we put him on.
Oh, we put them on that committee on here.
Yes.
Okay,
So we'll fill it in.
Okay, you've heard the request, and the addition would be Commissioner Noska
Yes.
to the Community Corrections Board. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve. Do we hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Erickson. Do we have a second?
Second.
And by Denny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right. Adam, planning and zoning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I have the BOA and Planning Commission appointments. This would be for 4-year terms, but the appointment needs to happen this year with the election. So the list attached here shows the full Board of Adjustments and Planning Commission members for 2023. The proposed reappointments are as follows. For the Board of Adjustments, which these would all be set to expire at December 31, 2026, would be District 1, Mike Sukup, District 3, Danny Payton, and District 5 is Bill Burscheit, and the alternate, Larry Bibas, who is also from District 5. For the Planning Commission, again, these appointments would expire at the end of 2026. District 1 is Arnie Boy, District 3, Lloyd Graves, and District 5, Roger Hendrickson, and our alternate is currently vacant for the Planning Commission. The option would be to approve the proposed list of appointments, deny, or make recommendations for other appointments to these boards. The recommendation would be approval of the recommended list of appointments for the Planning Commission and Board of Adjustments effective January 2023. And the full list, I think the next page has the full list of both full boards, if you wanted to see those. And Commissioner Denny and Nazca, the appointments are essentially opposite of when you get elected. So it's 2 years down the road where you guys, your districts would be up for reappointment.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Becker. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nazca. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. County Sheriff.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This board action is an opening exists for the position of Chief Deputy as of today, January 3rd, 2023. John Barber is qualified to fill the position, and I request that John Barber be appointed as my Chief Deputy effective today, January 3rd, 2023. At grade 16, this is an exempt position with sick and vacation time accruals. This is a budgeted position, and the recommendation is to appoint John Barber as my Chief Deputy.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Erickson. Discussion. Congratulations. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Chair Newman, Commissioners. Today, we bring before you the Todd County Personnel Board of Appeals policy. It has one change that needs to be updated. The name of the county attorney is listed in the Personnel Board of Appeals policy, and this is to be updated. Option is to approve the resolution or to do not approve the resolution, with the recommendation to approve the attached resolution for adoption of changes to the Todd County Personnel Board of Appeals policy.
Okay, you've heard the request. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion by Erickson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Denny. Discussion. If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that, standing reports Auditor Treasurer.
Moving into 2023, all I have today is filings open today, and they close on the 17th for the 21 townships that have officers opening for election in March of '23.
All right. County Attorney.
We're looking forward to a quieter year in 2023. You know what they say, wish in one hand and something else in the other. But also, as far as staff goes, we're looking at our telework or remote policy and having people re-sign those agreements to make sure that we're doing the county's business in accordance with the agreements. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioners. Commissioner Naska?
This is kind of a new one,
Cut you-
anything
cut
to
you off guard, didn't
report.
we?
Report,
Yeah,
this is your report.
Oh.
So-
Yeah.
report
I
time.
got a ton of stuff, for- no.
You good? Okay. Commissioner Becker?
It's just nice to be back in Minnesota. We got caught up in the Southwest Airlines in Denver. So, instead of flying back on Monday, we ended up on a different airline, flying back on Thursday. So it was fun with the kids. But sorry, I missed the last meeting.
Nice. Commissioner Erickson?
Just want to congratulate all the returning elected officials and newly elected officials in their position and their oaths of office today. Other than that, don't have really anything new.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Denny?
Nothing new from me.
Okay. All I have is I also want to congratulate all the newly elected individuals. Welcome. And looking forward to 2023. And I also, again, want to thank Commissioner Erickson for his leadership. Last year, it was really, really good. So thank you, Commissioner Erickson.
Thank you.
With that, coordinators report.
Mr. Chair, it's just really reiterating what everybody has already said. I want to thank Commissioner Erickson for his leadership, working very closely. He and I have worked very closely together over the past year, and hopefully I haven't been too annoying with phone calls and texts, but so thank you for that, and I look forward to working with you, Commissioner Newman and Commissioner Becker, on your new roles, and best of luck to the newly elected.
Okay. And is there anything else that needs to come in front of this board? If not, we will recess until January 17th, correct? All right, and we'll take 5 minutes and then start to. Call the Todd County Board of Commissioners, January 3rd, 2023, work session to order, and on the agenda is the solid waste project update. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I guess to start off, on behalf of our Solid Waste Department here, congratulations to the newly elected and the others who received another term. So congratulations. Today, we just wanted to give a little bit of an update and kind of a recap, an overview of everything we've been doing on our transfer station project. I say we, but specifically Mike and Director McCon and the commissioners who assisted in planning and assisting in getting to where we are today. So I prepared a memo for us just to kind of recap fully how everything came about and where we're at to this point in time. I did attach some diagrams here as well to kind of to go over what our initial, our design is at this point. And we can kind of explain it further if anybody has any questions. But to recap, in January 2022, Todd County was awarded through a CAP grant from the MPCA, $4 million to design, permit, and construct a new transfer station at the Browerville location. Part of that grant included a match of approximately $1.5 million from Todd County. Stantec helped apply for the CAP grant and was retained to help and assist with the design, the permit, and the preparation of the project as we move forward here. So starting in July 2022, the conceptual design was approved by the Board of Commissioners. Stantec helped with that design, as I mentioned before, and kind of some highlights of that we'll go through here. Initially, the floor plan started at about approximately 5,300 square feet. That included, I'd say, quite a large locker room area and other spaces that was neck down. As it stands right now, we're at approximately 3,000 square feet. So a sizable portion of that office was removed, and I feel like the spaces that we have now are adequate moving forward, and it will serve not only the employees but the customers and public very well. In the initial design plan, we had the office on the south side of the parking lot near the main entrance road. That was moved to the north side, and which we felt would better promote recycling, a better entryway, better traffic pattern, traffic flow throughout the facility, as well as give the employees a better line of sight on the scale and the actual transfer station building.
Maybe pull up the map of the traffic flow, if you could, please.
You let me know when I get there.
Yep. Just scroll down. Should be that one there. Yep.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see how the office building is on the north side with the parking lots.
There's our office facility.
To the south now. Through the design phase, we segregated the parking lot away from what is on the bottom now, going to be the recyclable, so the public can drive in and is offset from having to enter all the way through the facility. As you can see, if you could point out the right side of the office there, it's going to be one-way travel through the facility to minimize, hopefully minimize congestion, so there's not a bunch of crisscrossing of traffic. I would say one of the biggest points in this entire design is minimizing the contact of residential traffic versus commercial traffic. Commercial traffic is going to be held on what would be the south side of the building, so there should be very limited interaction, which is, as we know, a good thing. Some other highlights in the office, if you could go back to that one, Mike, we'll kind of go over that real quick.
Go back to the office.
Do we go back to the office building? Oh, sorry.
Should be number one.
Yep.
Or, yeah, two.
Yep. We reduced the number of shower stalls as well as locker room area. This still does provide men's and women's locker rooms separate. The storage files cabinet, or files room, excuse me, in the center of the building is going to be utilized as well as a safe area for inclement weather. We learned we can't call it a storm shelter because then we incur a whole bunch of different permit applications and requirements within there. So it's just going to be a safe area which is going to be reinforced on the off chance that there's inclement weather that allows our staff as well as the public if they're at the facility. I don't think I included an outside structural view, but we added dormers around each door, garage doors and the points of entry just to assist in moving that water away from the entryways, hopefully to, I guess, reduce the amount of ice and buildup that could result in somebody taking a fall. And I think another big important part, as part of this grant, we're going to be really upping the amount of signage around the facility. Tentatively bilingual signage to kind of get the best for residents around our area, or this area, I should say. Like I said, I talk like I live here, but I'm from Otter Tail County, so I should preface that too. But the signage is going to be that bilingual to kind of promote that
Sense of community.
sense of community
Yep.
for the transfer station.
We use we have a large amount of business owners now here in the county that are Hispanic-based, and so that is important for us to use. We're also going to use some color-coded bin systems to simplify the use of, for people to use. We can just say yellow bin is this, so it alleviates them having to look at everything all the time too, so we're really excited about implementing that as we go along. So that way, if we're busy communicating back and forth throughout the facility, we can simply just tell them yellow bin. If they ask us where do I go with TV or that type of thing. So just to simplify that, I think is going to be advantageous for our service. Any questions on the office facility at all, you guys? I mean, I know some of you guys have been pretty redundant, but it's kind of self-explanatory, I guess.
Well, then we'll move to the transfer station. So as you can see our design here, on what would be the east side, you can see there's two lanes, an HHW, Household Hazardous Waste Lane, and then an MSW, the Municipal Solid Waste Lane. That center divider there is going to hopefully keep those two different residential services separate. When you come into that HHW lane on the northeast corner of the building there's going to be a dedicated HHW processing area. The committee, the design committee, along with the MPCA, worked very well together, I would say, and they came up with what I would consider an effective use of rooms and storage on that side. Ultimately, the doors are, as you can kind of see, out of the lane of traffic. There really should be minimal exposure in that traffic lane, which is, again, safety priority number one. The MSW lane has access to, you can see the binnage there, or the bins there, as well as down on the south side there's some demo area, and then also where the MSW goes. The tipping floor there is that's going to be commercial, primarily commercial only. The commercial traffic will back in there and dump, and then the walkout trailer on the north side, that would be the northwest corner there, to load out and transport. There is a third, you could see, so there's two commercial doors there, one for redundancy if one was to break down. That way we could still operate in the facility. There is a separate third door on the north side that was kept. That's going to be outlined with precast concrete, which would allow the ability to change if it's decided that 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 space isn't utilized and we could use it for storage or bigger push wall to load into the MSW trailer there. Anything else I'm missing?
Nope, this basically drain field is just for our leachate, processing the water that comes off our dumping trucks. We're in the process of trying to figure that out yet, but that'll be just in this contained in a storage tank underground.
On the south side, next to where the MSW and the HHW lanes were, there was initial design had a loadout, a loading dock that was removed, just based on the amount of time and use that Mike felt that it would have. There also is, in the old structure, there is a loadout, loading dock that can still be utilized in the event one is needed.
Primarily, we don't use the loading dock a lot on this facility at all. Most of our loading dock is involved with our recycling facility, and that will be contained in the old building. That's one reason why we alleviated the loading dock on this part, just because it's not really a need for it here.
Yeah. If we could go to the slide number 5 there. Yeah, that one there. On the south side, where the residential doors come out, that's where the loadout bins for electronics, tires, appliances will be. There's also where that loading dock was removed, that's where the steel disposal will go. The lot to the west there will be utilized for our hook truck staging. A good area for staff to be able to move those bins if they're full or rearrange them as needed.
And the only other really big thing is we put a median in here to isolate this one-way traffic. That's kind of why we're seeing this. The green recycle bins that are currently on the site, that they will be moved down here, so the customers can come through here, use this facility, and then just enter and go back out. So that's how we isolated this, and the commercial trucks will come through here. Here's the truck scale, and then that's how they go and access the tipping floor.
Yeah, and I think again, the priority was just to reduce that, the possibility of commercial and residential traffic mixing. It just should alleviate the flow throughout that entire facility there. In this diagram, you can see the scale on the north side of the building. The conversation was had regarding the two types of scales, one pit style and the other above ground. Both had their pros and cons, with the pit style costing a little bit more. I referenced it in here, but an 80-foot scale is approximately $196,000, and a 50-foot scale was $147,000. The disadvantages of the above ground outweighed the pit scale. And I think one of the big differences primarily with the above ground scale was the amount of added dirt work and lead up to the scale itself. In an 80-foot scale, you had to increase the drive-up ramp approximately 24 or better feet. So the incline was, I guess, feasible for these trucks. So in order to do so on a scale on the north side of the building here, those roads would have had to be dramatically increased, the size of those. So the pit scale is the one that was decided on. It also allows for easier maintenance within the yards, plowing. So there is about a 40-week lead time on that, as soon as we would order one, so that we're moving forward on some of those things just based on the lead time on these things. I think we can, I included one, maybe the last slide?
Yep.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, number 7. So Stantec also took a look at the old entry road into the, I'll call it the top facility, just based on the elevation change there. It was between a 12 and 14% grade going up in there, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, had a fairly high propensity to wash out in big water events. So this design kind of shows a new path that's roughly that 7 to 8%, which would be code. It had to be below 8% to get back up into that facility. I think one of the big things to note is with this new design, there is going to be a sizable amount of material that will be able to be pulled from that new road design and reused on site. I can't remember if it was 3,000 yards or 3,000.
Approximately, yes.
I think it was 3,000 yards they estimated we'd be able to repurpose and utilize on site. So we'll be looking at those design drawings as well. I think there was a civil drawing up on, if you could go maybe slide 4, no, 3. So I'll just cover, I might not have included a civil set of drawing here, but so the water and sewer to the property on November 10th, commissioners, along with Todd County staff, met with the Browerville city administrator and their engineer from Bolton Menk regarding bringing water to the facility. This would be residential water that would be constructed and piped in, as well as would also feed our fire suppression system, which would need to be per code. City of Browerville agreed for us to trench to, I believe it was our approach, is what they ended on. Initially, it started that they wanted to have it trenched all the way through the property line to the south edge, but they agreed to our approach, which allowed for, I would say, a sizable amount of money to be cut. So a contract was signed. So the total cost for this work, including engineering, administration, and legal, is estimated at approximately $209,000. And those dollars are eligible through the Minnesota CAP grant. We originally had budgeted $349,000, and part of that started with having our leachate taken and treated by Browerville. They declined just based on their ability to treat, and we moved on and had a meeting with Long Prairie staff, and are currently in conversations with them for them to take our leachate. So with that, on the 16th of November, we met with Long Prairie city staff and spoke to them about taking our industrial wastewater. On December 6th, we invited them down to a tour of the Fergus Falls city wastewater treatment plant. Fergus Falls is who takes Otter Tail County's leachate or industrial wastewater, as well as Gwinner, North Dakota, Pope Douglas. So they treat a sizable amount of wastewater each year from us. The estimated industrial wastewater from the new facility in Todd County here is between that 20 and 25,000 gallons per year. For reference, Long Prairie staff indicated that they treat between 1 and 2 million gallons each day. So what we would be providing them in wastewater would be minimal. There was some discussion about how and what would be contained in that leachate that they would have to treat. So those discussions are still ongoing, but I think after the tour that we had that day in Fergus Falls, everybody left feeling fairly confident that that would be a viable option. So as of the end of November, I'll just read from my notes here so I don't get it wrong. Stantec has indicated they are approximately 45% completed with the final design and bidding documents. They also indicated they're about 40% complete with permitting and regulatory compliance documents. So we've paid Stantec approximately $170,000, or roughly 29% of our allocated expense money towards them. Is there anything else I'm missing or you want to add?
If you want to go to slide number 4, just so the commissioners can see, that'll show you a little bit of the the design of the outer look of the building, but you can see up on the doors, like, we're gonna have a pictogram on the door telling you what product goes in which door, so it kinda gives you an idea of some of the signage abilities, that type of thing. So this would be the door that the residential would be accessing from the north, driving through the building to the south. And this is the attached HHW entry system where we would process, so, kind of gives you an idea how the facility looks like. And this would be the side where the commercial guys would go in, and this is your tipping floor loading dock area where we would load our own trailers, just for your guys' information. Kind of like Steve had said, dealing with lead times, I think we're somewhere in the process of locking down some pretty significant numbers on the equipment needed to run the facility. We're currently looking at somewhere around 800,000 for the amount of material or products that we need. Again, our biggest concern on some of it is lead times on some of the equipment, and they're not gonna give us an answer until we really actually order. The only thing that is the truck scales, is it has a significant lead time. Also, our material handler that we're gonna use is the other one. Trucks and trailers are not quite that big of an issue, but they tell you one thing and later on it can be another. I mean, I've been waiting we have a forklift, which is just a common use forklift, and I mean, it's been out of commission for about 3 weeks just because of parts availability. So, I mean, and it's a simple part, but, you know, there it is 3 weeks later and you're still waiting for, you know, a $300 part. So we're not sure on that, but at least it gives us, we're really close on numbers as far as that's a good number for the equipment that's gonna need to run the facility. So,
Timeframes, you know, when are we kind of looking at breaking ground? When are we looking at starting construction, finishing construction?
Yeah, so
Kind of,
on that note, a timeline for the project included construction commencing in May of 2023, with a cap grant requirement of finishing the project by December 31st, 2024. I spoke with Stantec last week when he was providing me some of these drawings, and he indicated that the timeline is still, we're still on task, and they're hopeful to open bidding the end of February into March. So we're hopeful to have detailed drawings and permit applications ready here in February to start advertising those bids. So it's going to move quick. We're really getting to those final stages, and yeah, so everything's still on task as it sits.
So the loading dock there, and that's for loading the trailers to go to Perm, correct?
For MSW, yes,
Yep.
correct.
Okay.
Yep, that'll be where the walking floor trailer goes.
Right, so that's big enough for the tractor and the trailer to back in there and close the door?
that is correct, yep.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions, gentlemen?
No?
Mr. Chair, can I just add something that Chris had mentioned? Sometime in February, I believe, there may be a walkthrough of another facility just to get a look at, like, Clay County's, how they do their docks or their scales. So that is something that is in the works of planning.
Yep, and we spoke with Director Corey Bang from Clay County, and he's hopeful that their facility will be up and running by February 2023, as Ms. Pelzer indicated. If not, March 2023 may also be a time for commissioners and others to get up there and take a tour of that facility. So he's very eager, and he's hopeful that everything will be up and running by then, but we'll see.
Might be a little warmer then, too.
Yeah. Right, with any luck. So they're excited to get going up there, and they finally got full staff, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Chris, you on there?
I think he had to,
Had to
I think he
leave?
had to take off. He had the Otter Tail board meeting he had to get to update
Alright.
at the same time, unluckily.
I'll see him at the solid waste meeting.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Anything else? If not, we're adjourned.